It's cock. Yeah, you can't go wrong with cock.
I like cock. I like to drink cock.
Yeah.
Do you want cock? I like cock.
How much for the cock?
How much for cock?
Everywhere you look, there's a face of somebody who needs you. Everywhere you look, when you're lost out there and you're all alone, life is waiting to carry you home. Everywhere you look, everywhere you look. Welcome to the Banana Split ASMR special.
As long as you're not eating or making slurpy noises with a drink, I'm okay, because I've got misophonia.
Have you seen?
I'll just shut the fuck down.
Have you seen the Jim Carrey Grinch impersonator? He did an ASMR of the Grinch.
No.
It was an official, like, I don't know if it's Warner Brothers or Universal that owns it. It was official YouTube of that channel. And he was just, he looked like Jim Carrey's Grinch and he sounded like Jim Carrey's Grinch. And he was just like fucking like deep throating the mic. Don't talk like this. He's eating an onion.
Speaking of deep throating mics, one of the recent Joe Rogans, they had this guy on. He's this Asian dude, but like American, and he's like this crazy artist. He made his millions instead of taking money when he was commissioned to do like the Facebook corporate headquarters, like just as they were opening. They were like, "Oh, we don't really have a lot of cash on hand, but maybe you could take some stock." And I was like, "Oh, I don't normally do that, but fine." He took a couple of thousand shares, and then obviously once they went public, he was a millionaire, and he just done some like feature wall in their headquarters.
This is episode 74. Yes, we've started.
Nice. So he started a podcast with a porn star, and he did that for a while until he basically had a nervous breakdown or something. He's a real genius artist type, so he eventually just went full like insane, started doing 4-hour long episodes by himself with a butt plug in his mouth. Or the next episode was even longer and he was just doing like made up language. It was all tongues. He was speaking in
Question
tongues.
about
So
made up language.
that's an option.
Is like, as you know, in certain science fiction things, the languages that they speak are often actually created for that purpose. Like Star Trek did it. Game of Thrones did it. Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Is the language that Jabba the Hutt speaks real? Because if so, I really want to learn. That's the language I want to learn the most. Igagat bugada usama ooh.
It kind of sounds
What would that be called?
Dothrakian.
Because he's a Hutt, right?
Yeah. So is it Hutt?
I think it's Huttese.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to look into that.
Huttese.
Some
Like-
Star Wars nerd will know this.
Like, I'm gonna look this up and just like, you know, be like, nah, it's not fucking real, disappointing. Or it's like, fucking oath, it's real. Jaden's gonna learn it till he forgets, and then the Duolingo hour is gonna try to kill him again.
Yeah, like I know Game of Thrones brought on an academic to actually come up with the language. So, and they would have spent thousands of hours on that and paid him a ton of money. I think he would actually did a YouTube video talking about it. So that's a thing. I think Klingon's probably the first
Yeah.
That's
that
it.
was on
Klingon,
TV.
Elvish, Dothraki.
Like, as far as I know, the first fictional language that was actually mapped out so you could speak it was probably J.R.R. Tolkien. He wrote songs in Elvish and all that, like with the Silmarillion, or however that's pronounced. But that wasn't on the screen before Star Trek. So
There's educational CDs you can buy of how to speak Klingon. I've seen people try to learn.
No,
it.
I've
It's
seen like
funny.
weddings done in Klingon and
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff.
And if Hutt isn't a language, I wonder how long it'll take for me to try to make it and then get sued.
I think that comes under fair use, maybe.
Maybe.
Anyway,
Speaking of getting sued,
yep.
Oculus. That thing, that video.
Are they getting sued?
No.
No,
I was gonna
we
say.
found a fellow.
Which I
YouTuber.
watched for 30 seconds and went, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
And then
didn't
I
make
exited out.
I think I was on my phone, so the sound wasn't working very well. But I'll give it a proper go later. In not really response to last week's video, but following up on that, someone linked us a clip from the certain individual we're talking about, Michael Kazaragh. I still don't know how to pronounce his name.
So that was another video about him.
No, it was him on a video being interviewed by this guy. And I think it's his channel.
Yeah,
which is called Oculus.
Can you tell I didn't watch it?
Origins or something?
No, it's called something, but he's calling the podcast or whatever it is Oculus.
Yeah.
Which is just a real easy way to get sued by Facebook.
Well, maybe, but Facebook?
Facebook owns Oculus.
Right. But isn't the word itself like an actual word? It's not just a brand name.
Yeah, but if you're calling something that, I feel like at that point,
Because
I know for a fact that the term Oculus is trademarked by Facebook.
Okay.
like the term Apple.
Yeah.
Like if I have a new company, my company is called Apple.
Or or if I try
Yeah, but that's
to
different from a
use the
podcast.
exact same brown color that UPS uses.
Yeah. It was like with
Well, I
Tiger.
think-
What's his name? The Tiger.
Joe,
Tiger, King Tiger,
Tiger
whatever his
King.
name. And King Tiger's a much cooler name.
that's a wrestler right
Yeah,
there.
yeah, I
If
was
I've ever
thinking-
heard one. King Tiger.
It's definitely a kid's toy.
Where did the tiger splash through?
But yeah, all his marketing and stuff, he just completely copied. Like, what's her name? Carol Baskin. So,
Carol
who
Baskin.
now owns his. Yeah, that's one of my most favorite earworm TikToks.
Killed her husband, whacked him, fed him to tigers. They snack in. Carol Baskin.
It's so good. There's something about it. It's also like
It's an actual song that is
Go
parody. That's
Power
why.
Rangers. That's been in my head a lot lately because my kid's watching it. And of course, we had to go out today, and he was very upset because he couldn't find a green ranger. They had the pink, they had the black, they had the red, they had the blue, but no green. So I was a bit pissed. And I
Fun
don't know
fact: there's been a Red Ranger called Jaden. So
why. Nice, but was it spelt like Jaydy?
I think it was. I think.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact that there's a Yu-Gi-Oh main character named Jaden. That is spelled correctly.
Jaden.
Nice.
Which one's
Jaden Yuki.
Is Jaden? Oh, is he the dice? The dungeon dice?
No,
guy?
GX.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Hey, GX is good.
Yeah, so
Except
it's
for that
actually
one teacher. I'm going to get him kicked out of school by writing him a love letter. Let me kiss the envelope too. Do you remember that episode?
We don't talk about it.
He writes a letter to try and get one of the kids, a male principal,
right.
tries to get him kicked out of the school, writes him a love letter, pretending to be a woman. Meet me by the yada yada, because if you go to the girls' dorm, you can get kicked out. Puts lipstick on his mouth, kisses it, puts it in his fucking thing. And I'm like, okay, I know this is a kid's movie, and that was hilarious.
Oh, and keep in mind, it's a real interesting. It's a good season because
Oh, yeah.
What show is this?
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh! GX.
Because like the original Yu-Gi-Oh, it's like half of it's not dueling. Where
It's
Yu-Gi-Oh!
very cheesy.
Where
even though I like it.
Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, it's just like you stepped on my shoe. Time to duel. And then it's like everyone's evil apparently. Like even Jaden in the last season that didn't get dubbed into English.
Mm-hmm. See, my nerdy friend would be all over this right now with you. Oh my god, look at shit.
But back on track.
Hey,
yeah,
hey,
so there was this.
I don't
what?
let this go on track. You brought me on and you went, you know what? Train tracks are this way, Jaden's walking in the other direction.
You're the smart guy, he's the funny guy.
I'm definitely never going to be the smart guy.
I'm the wild card.
I'm just that old dude that's like, why is this guy?
Wild card, bitches.
You're the one who grounds us. You're like,
Really?
all right,
Well,
libtards, back to reality.
Then we're in trouble.
I was gonna say it was Peter, but Peter at the same point is not grounded.
No. Apparently there was a guy in the Rolling Stones when they started out. There was a fifth member, and he just looked too different from the others. He was just like this old, craggy, really ugly dude. He was good on the bass or whatever. Like, he was fine with his music, but yeah, he just didn't fit their look. So the new manager was like, no, you have to.
Oh yeah.
You
So they
just don't
basically
fit in.
kept him in the background. Like, he would still play a keyboard and stuff, but it was never seen.
Oh, you know, there's plenty of things that like they do that in wrestling all the time. Like the old school group Evolution, which was Triple H, Batista, Randy Orton, and Ric Flair, because everyone knows who Ric Flair is.
Well, he's from like the 90s.
Woo!
Yeah. Just quote that.
They had a originally Batista, who, as again everyone knows because he's Batista, wasn't in the group. They had a different guy who they're like, all right, they did. They had him all in black suits walking over a hill. It was meant to be true. Like, what's the suit movie that
Reservoir Dogs?
Reservoir Dogs. It was meant to be a real Reservoir Dogs type thing. And they're like, why is he here? We don't want him here. So eventually they got rid of him, and then people get cut out because they didn't fit.
Yeah.
So
I think the worst example of that, I don't know if it's the same thing, but when the Beijing Olympics was on, they had this really cute little girl pulled out to sing the national anthem. But she was dubbing. And there was another girl, exactly the same age, like 8 or 9 or something, that sang the song. But she wasn't pretty enough. So they put out another kid and gave her a mic. And
now,
just
I'm
said-
not saying that sounds like something North Korea would do, but
Anyway, the Oculus thing, because we were talking about that dude, Michael, what's his name? You had a thing to go on about that. We dug up like some clips that he's been in, not old ones, but recently. These were filmed like in the last couple of weeks, where he's bantering back and forth with some mate of his, who I've been in touch with. It was pretty funny. It was the other night, and he's like,
which I watched.
James or something.
And then
No, I messaged
dislike.
him, and he's like, "Oh man, I'm out. I'm pretty drunk. It's Friday night. I'll get back to you. I can't deal with this right now." Because I was like, "Hey, how much do you know about this dude?" And I don't want to sledge him, or I guess I've kind of named him, but
I can
I
edit
don't want
that
to throw
out.
him under the. Well,
can
it's
bleep
more like
I can bleep that. I'll bleep that.
we don't
Don't
have
worry
to.
about
It's just that I want to make it clear that he might not know the entire picture.
He fucking should. Like, I'm not saying it's his fault, but I'm saying that Michael should have told him.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't
that's what
want
I
to
mean.
throw this guy under the
Yeah,
bus
I'm not
if
just
he's
going to say
aware.
this guy is immediately an asshole.
Yeah, I was
we
like,
don't know
hey,
him.
Do you want to know about Michael a bit more? Because I might know things that you don't.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't deal with this right now. It's been a shit day. So I can't really fault him.
Yeah. At the same time, if they want to be friends with him, they're
Yeah.
welcome to.
I mean, I
They
can
just
sledge
should be
the quality
aware
of his videos,
Yeah.
but then who are we to talk?
Yeah.
So
So, now begins Matt's 10 minutes on this subject.
that's what we get.
I was hoping you'd forget.
You're the one that brought it up before this.
Well, because I knew you'd be like, "What juicy content have you got for us, mate?"
It's in the works.
Basically, I'm not going to completely mention everything that I mentioned on the last podcast, but some people with very good criticism contacted me privately about what I had said and the information that I was attempting to give out. And I feel like because I didn't have enough time to personally reflect on it, that I could have did it a bit better and I could have elaborated more on things. So I'm going to quickly elaborate on what I said before and also back up stuff as much as I can. So long story short, you guys reported that he was convicted of 3 different accounts of...
Yeah, I mean, I think that was the bigger issue. I think your stuff was just an anecdotal take, like adding some colour to, hey, you know this dude personally, at least briefly, and, give us a sense of who he was.
Yes.
I don't think there was any big smoking gun that you were going to reveal that made him out to be any worse than what was already online, so.
Yeah. This was more of just a side thing, of course.
So
It wasn't like I caught him with a 7-year-old girl.
Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't. I was just kind of like doing a piss take story, but because I did know him for about 4 years ago, he claiming up and down that he doesn't know me
inside the Hall
bullshit.
of Mirrors in Coney Island.
Because we first, I'm not going to go through it. It's fine. First met at a convention, 2020. When they were asking me, I said, okay, so it would have been roughly 4 years ago, 2016. I was reading, which again, he's linked it. You can see the criminal report thing. It's all
Down
public knowledge.
in the description.
And it adds...
like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Anyway.
That's
And
the first time that's been said.
And it connects with everything that I said. So, yada yada, sexual intercourse without consent relating to 3 separate occasions in early 2016. 2016 is when I met him. 2016 is when I first started doing the Winter Soldier stuff.
He was claiming he wasn't 20 at the time, but according to this,
yeah, he was for some reason when these people were talking to me about it, they were asking him. He said, "No, I'm not. No, I was 16 at the time." This says otherwise.
I mean, firstly,
this is not me saying. Yep.
He's like, I don't know, Matt. Never met Matt in my life.
Yeah.
Yes, he was saying that as well. I've only met him for like 10 minutes. That's also bullshit. I can't personally back that up because I could give you, is it anecdotal evidence where it's other people saying it? Is that what anecdotal? Yeah, basically, I know plenty of people who were friends with him at the time who would back up what I'm saying. I know, of course, that's not like evidence such as this, but carrying on anyway. 2016, he was in my friend group, yada yada. Found out the name of the girl that he was dating at the time when I met him. Now, 2016, if I'm reading this correct, please check it yourselves to be sure. It says here, the applicant, who is aged 21 at all material times. And it says here, applicant had commenced a relationship in or around mid-January 2016. So, connecting that there, 21 at the time, 2016, I met him. He was dating a girl. I know her name, not going to mention the name here. And yeah, so that connects with what I was saying about the vibrator thing. And
Like he's saying he doesn't
how it was
remember that.
making
But if
my
it
friends
did happen,
uncomfortable, and
that's her fault.
yeah. Well, I mean, like it.
It's just weird to hear that he quibbled on all this stuff that you said.
Yeah.
It doesn't really.
But at the end of the day,
yeah.
like he started dropping all that, and he just started going to like fucking, ask him about his friend Alana. Ask him about his mate Alana. And I think that's what you guys are hearing as well. His big smoking gun is diverting the entire fucking conversation.
Which in itself was stabbing him in his own ass by going, I don't know, man. Ask him about Alana.
Yeah.
How do I have that
Ask him about
information?
Alana. Yeah. And I want to just quickly reiterate, even though I don't have to explain this, I really don't. Let me just be transparent with you. I knew Alana
Where'd he go?
in 2016
What?
because she was an aspiring voice actress. She was doing a lot of stuff at the time. The fuck are you? Are you right,
That's
mate?
gone transparent.
Have I gone transparent? Oh, okay. All fucking right. I turn water to wine, motherfucker. I don't go invisible. That's your job. Well,
I got them both. Alright, wait.
I met Alana in 2016. She was a popular voice actress, and she's getting better and better. And I revealed that I wanted to be a voice actor too, but I didn't know where to start. Long story short, she helped get me out there, because you guys might disagree. I'm a shy motherfucker.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Based on when I first met you, which was around the same period in time.
That hasn't
compared
changed.
to now. Yeah.
The only reason I can talk a bit more is because I'm around you two.
Right.
When I'm around people that I care about, I feel comfortable. I feel like I'm more energetic, yada yada.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why I hung out with her a lot, because and we grew to be good mates.
Yeah,
He obviously saw this as an opportunity.
Yeah.
Because from what I can see here, it's proven that he's 21 at the time. Please correct me if I'm wrong, if it's there. He was trying to abuse the fact that he and I were the oldest people there. Sort of being like, well, these people seem to really respect you. So let me just fucking use that and try to get on their good side as well. And we weren't having it. Like, we were steering clear of him and all that jazz. And eventually that led into the Discord thing where we were all like, this guy's making us uncomfortable. He was making advances towards Alana. He was making advances towards the other girls. Shocker! The girl that he's trying to fucking, pin against me sort of thing.
I'm gonna put Macaulay Culkin in the background going.
I got a bunch of this information from some of the people who was talking to me. So thank you for that. Thank you for questioning the podcast and giving us good criticism. If you have any other questions in regards to this, please let us know. As far as I know, I've
And Jaden will
checked
just put
everything.
your phone number on the bottom of the screen.
I feel like I've forgotten something. I don't think I have. Is there something else that I should have reiterated
In
on?
summary, it just sounds like he was trying to deflect it back on you, and that, didn't work. So
Yeah, and
I'm rubber, you're glue.
The main thing here is that my experience with him, in my opinion, was bad. He came off to me as a very manipulative, abusive person, and in my opinion, you should stay away from him, especially if you're a woman. I'm not saying that you should. I'm not saying that you have to. I'm saying that you should, in my humble opinion. And also according to this fucking statement here, that he is a sexual...
But by the Australian government.
Yes,
Now,
by the Australian government.
Brought to you by the Australian government, Cameron.
I mean, they have been known to get things wrong from time to time, but I think
But, like-
that's more like a court of law. I wouldn't go with what the government says if it's like ScoMo, but in terms of like a judge, whatever summary that is, yeah, it's probably got a bit more weight than
Yeah, it's like
just a spokesman for...
don't be manipulative and abusive.
Yeah.
Be like
'Cause
me. Be
Yeah.
manipulative, but for the right reasons.
Because I wanted to mention the statement and stuff as well, in particular, because I have a reason to be biased. And I'll admit that, because I've met him and he tried coming onto people that I care about. So of course I'm not going to like the guy. Of course I'm going to be biased. And again, I don't have to talk about this anyway. I myself was abused when I was younger. Ironically enough, around the same age as that girl. So again, that's going to make me biased. So I want people to know that, make your own judgment, please. Even if you ignore everything I just said about my own personal experience, daddy hat on, just take into account what the government has mentioned about him. Be very careful around this person.
I'd say the courts.
Daddy hat on. But yeah.
Now, I'm not saying these kind of people, sexual abusers, should have their genitals. You know, an electric dog collar? Just fucking. Yeah.
As long as you're not saying that.
But we
And
should.
we might have some more
Unless they're into it.
news on that next time because apparently you might be
Oh, and the other...
dealing with him again at some point.
Yeah. Apparently he wants to have a yarn with me.
So if you've got any questions for the guy,
You know what?
away.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
If you have any questions that you want me to ask him, I'll let him know that the recording that I use will very likely be showed here.
Great, now I have to edit this very quickly.
Yeah. Oh, we don't
No,
have to.
I mean-
We don't have to show it off like immediately after
No.
I've recorded it.
there's no big rush.
Just
No,
to
but
wait
just
a week
to
or
get
two.
you questions in time.
Oh, that's a
How many do you think we're going to get?
Look. I'm sorry if we've already done it by the time you send your questions in.
That's the favorite thing.
Sorry.
It's just like, yeah, how many questions will we get? It's the only questions we get are from Michael, where it's like him to say, "Why are you such a great guy?" And one of me to go, "What the fuck?"
Why did you go out of your way to help me when I was a young cosplayer and needed all that attention?
Yeah.
No.
At the very least, if you ask a question and I figure it out, maybe like it's answered, maybe I'll try to answer it in the comments or something like that. I'll try to look back on it.
I mean, we can always.
Yes.
Yeah. Doesn't necessarily have to be.
I'll tell you what we won't be posting it in. Cosplay all inclusive, because I doubt they'll let us have that in there.
I don't know. I mean, only an hour or two after I posted the warning thread in CIA, it ended up straight in all inclusive.
Yeah, maybe message one of the admins. Go, we're gonna do this. We think we're blah
They're
blah
pretty
blah.
tough
blah.
on. That's like what I was saying. The
I mean,
episode
I know
before.
one of the admins, so.
Yeah, we both do.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Uh,
Get some of that whiz fizz into you.
and he was pretty gung ho on anything like this. So
Yeah.
they're all about like exposing the. Remember we were talking
So,
about that.
like,
You got to
yeah.
be careful with it because if they're not, they tend to jump the gun almost. And luckily,
It's a real. I don't want to be negative, but it's a real Peter group.
Peter. What?
Oh well, yeah,
Peter
okay.
Stein.
Yeah,
Steen.
what?
Steinstein.
So what?
Right?
I got you there for a second.
Yeah,
Damn it!
Not as good as transparency.
that always gets me.
You did.
That's like what I mentioned last time. I'm worried that one day someone will say something like make an accusation and it'll just get like bandwagoned.
Technical difficulties. Well, I'm not. Yeah, but like, cause I plug that out and I plug it back in, and it's good.
That's why you should help fund the channel, so then less bullshit like this happens.
Yeah, sign up to our Patreon that we don't have.
So
I'll just
go,
put my BSB in the comments section.
go
No, it's-
sign up to our non-existent
That's
Dollar Shave
what
Club.
that's what I'll actually use all my OnlyFans money for. Is just to help produce this.
You have an OnlyFans account?
I will now.
Nice. Just be all like shots of your six pack and
Woo.
None on my face, because I
I'd
need to
probably
have
do-
a professional career.
I'd probably just do something really easy that I can do, just like take pictures of my feet or just talk and burp.
Yeah,
can do
why
it
don't I
very
just pretend to
easily.
be a chick online and just sell like my used
Hobbitfeet.com.
socks?
There's a famous woman on those chat websites where where you share your
you mean
boobs
Belle
and stuff.
Delphine or whatever?
Is it Belle Delphine? Where she's an animated girl.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, she's like it's. I think it's a girl, but she created her own like 3D model of a woman, and she never shows her own face. She just shows this 3D model, and people pay tons of money to rather than having to show her real boobs. And I don't even think that the 3D model shows her boobs.
People are willing to pay for it, then
Yeah,
no
yeah.
judgment.
I thought it was an interesting idea, but the models on there obviously that are real women are fucking pissed because like these fucking people are giving this 3D character money. What the fuck?
I think that reminds me of all those Japanese singers that aren't real.
Yeah. Miku, is it Miku?
Yeah,
Cute
and
green
you see
hair.
girls cosplaying her, and she's just like a digital artifact with like I don't even think the singing's real. It's all like auto-tuned. So
And they'll go to concerts, I think. is
Fuck,
it?
I'm tempted just to
Concerts
pretend to
would
be a
cool.
chick and sell used socks.
why socks? Why not go all the way to panties?
Because,
Or,
You gotta build up to it or something.
pantyhose.
yeah. Yeah.
You need to watch Orange Is the New Black. They explain in a lot of detail about how to make fake ones.
I've seen Orange Is the New Black.
There you go.
I've seen those episodes.
Great. Old Ruby Rose, her greatest work. And I think that's probably where she's gonna. I don't think she's ever gonna top that.
No.
I've got some event news coming up in September because obviously they couldn't do it IRL. PAX is doing an online thing from 12th to the 20th of September. The biggest games event of the year. I think currently right now...
No shit, of course it is. There's no other events.
There's no E3. Yeah, it's a kind of an easy year to be the biggest eventing. I think at the moment there's QuakeCon.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah, Quake.
Yeah.
Just get me on the top of the fucking Quake 3 arena map with a fucking railgun. Damn! You're dead!
Yeah, our mate Doug Maher is doing like a live interview at some point, so I'll try and catch up on that. About his cosplay, his old power armor suits.
Have you guys paid for any of these? I'm not judging. I'm genuinely curious. Have you guys paid and been to one of these virtual events? Because I'm genuinely curious.
No, I was meant to help run one.
There was a free one that I was invited to. I think it was a Smash one or something. I forget which one it was, and I just didn't. I forgot about it.
I was meant to do a cosplay competition virtually. I said no.
It's like stand-up comedy. We've talked about this before. Like it just doesn't work on Zoom.
No.
So there is and I have to go to my messages to find out what it's called again. But Oz Comic Con are doing an online cosplay competition with massive prizes, like donations from.
Yeah, I saw that, and part of me wanted to go. I'd say, do you need a host?
Michelle
but who needs it?
Krakawa. It's
would
sponsored
you do
by.
Exactly my point.
Like one of the hosts is one of the judges, Alt F4 Cosplay. She's really good. She's won some big prizes. It's Oceanic Esports Cosplay Cup.
Yeah.
From any fandom, any type of like costume from whatever you want. Probably even your own. What do they call that? Where it's
OC.
Original characters.
There's a $1,500 prize pool. Annie Marga and Oz Comic Con are into it. So, and that's kind of we're building up to.
Yeah, but
I think September. That's all really. Like the final entries. So
I feel like Iron Fest has got a bigger prize pool than that.
I mean,
but I mean, considering you're not going anywhere, it's all just submitting a photo that you could have had taken from, years ago. I don't know what the exact rules are on that, but
I don't.
there was a website actually, oceanicsports.com. We'll probably try and remember to put a link in the description. But she's been asking me to help promote that, and that'd be really cool to see it. I mean, there's money out there to be had. If you've got a cosplay that's been sitting around, chuck it on, get some photos done, make some cash.
I don't know anything specific about it, but it just seems like it's going to be very... All
right. The finalists will be required to be on a video call with the judges to talk about their costume and the process.
Okay.
You're also asked to provide images in reference to your costume prior to the session.
Okay.
The public vote is how it sounds. People will vote on your costume's images. So we encourage liking, sharing, and care reacting. Now, to me, I'm not a big fan of that. I prefer if it's judged. But I think there's more than one prize. There's like a judged prize, and you win something else.
So are you already able to enter this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the winner of the public vote's getting $500. Craftsmanship, obviously, that will be judged, is $1,000, and an esports category winner is $500. Submission deadline October 3rd. The announcement for the winners will be the 5th, or the finalists. Then the video that you have to do with them by the 8th. So it's all happening pretty quickly in that first week of October. So that's it. That's all going down pretty soon.
Okay.
I like it, but I just again, it's not going to compare to being there in person. But we have to do something to keep people going. So it's better than nothing.
Experiment. Yeah.
See how it goes.
I'm glad there's only one public vote one, because I feel like that's going to be very. I can't think of the word, but you know what I mean. Like if you're like. Magically PewDiePie decides to jump in, he'll get like 5 billion people vote him up.
Well,
just
I think
for
you
the
have
sake
to be
of
an Australian or New Zealand resident, but still.
Well, like until
that Indian YouTuber company president comes in, he's got all the Indians voting for him. Yeah. He says like, "We beat you again, PewDiePie.
Fuck you."
Did they ever acknowledge the race? Like I know PewDiePie was big time. Everyone was like. Jumping in and going, vote for PewDiePie.
I don't think they did.
But I don't know if the Indian
I'm
channel
super paranoid about this now.
Yeah, no, just keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
Hopefully it won't stop recording again, because it's wasting all this like precious content. So there's
Thank God we've got this at least. Because imagine if we did it and we didn't have video.
It just means they can use their imagination.
Well, we'd still be using mine and that would work. But anyway, your fancy new gaming laptop.
Now, I'm not saying it's the mic, but I think it's the mic.
But the only thing that's different is the laptop. The mic never had an issue before. So
Hey, can I borrow your oven mitts? Your oven mitts?
now,
Yeah, for all these Harshy Browns you're serving up to Jaden right now.
Archie Browns. That's good. In more news about a voice actor that we all knew and loved, and I never knew who she was, but it's Spencer Grammer. I can't tell if it's Kelsey Grammer's daughter or his wife. You never know with these things. But Rick and Morty, I think it's the daughter. It's either the daughter or the wife. I've clearly done a lot of research on this.
Of course
she was involved in a
You don't even know who I am.
embroiled, as the headline goes.
Seriously?
It's his daughter. That makes me feel a little bit better. Kelsey
His
Grammer.
daughter?
Yeah. Because if they were married, she looks like 20 and he looks like about 50. But I mean, he could be doing one of the
So
Jack
it's the
Nicholson-
husband's daughter.
No, what? Kelsey Grammer. Do you know who that is?
No.
Oh my
We
god.
shit with names.
Look at him. Do you know who that is? It's Frasier.
Yes.
It was on like one of the most popular TV shows of
He
all
did like
time.
Sideshow Bob and stuff, yeah?
Yes.
Anyway, his daughter is the voice actor for a character in Rick and Morty. Hang on.
Is it summer?
That's what I'm looking for. There was a full-on brawl in a restaurant that she was at. She tried to break it up, and she got slashed in her right arm and taken to hospital. The attacker fled the scene, so I don't know if they've caught the guy. But yeah, it's either Summer.
Or Beth?
It is Summer Smith. There we go. That was confirmed. So hopefully she's all right, and she got lots of support going after that. So.
Here at the Banana Split podcast, we care. Especially Pat.
I don't know if you're like mocking the fact that I did zero research on that before reading it, or the fact that we don't really care that much about people we don't know. I still care. Like I cared a lot when
B-roll of like a cat playing with like a piece of toilet paper or something really cute. Here at the Banana Split podcast, we care about things.
I mean, I've got two cats. But
Here at NBC. I'm sorry. Here at CBS. CBS cares.
Apparently, there's a new streaming service called Peacock. And it's just all their shows like Friends and The Office and anything that was on NBC, which I think is they've got that symbol. So
Okay.
that's all we need. Another streaming service we have to buy to watch the good
Not
stuff.
doing it. I've got enough. I've got 4.
I'm assuming you've already mentioned it, or you're going like in the past, or you're going to mention about the Mulan thing.
Oh, I'm getting there.
Okay, no problem.
Or what about the Western Sydney
but the next,
thing?
What Western Sydney thing?
They're shooting the
Oh, yeah, it's like Shang-Tzu or whatever, the next big movie.
yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty
the
cool.
Legend of the Ten Rings.
So all the actors and crew were finally cleared from quarantine and can now like get started.
It's shooting in Prospect, so in one of the scenes in the background, you might just see someone going, "Eshebra!
Or like doing a single pegger in a van.
Oi, mate, can I fudge a ciggy off ya?
Give me a diary.
They've already started shooting. I imagine they've
Yeah.
started shooting.
Oi, mate, can I have some money for the bus? Mate, it's cashless now. Oh, I'm sorry, mate. Can I have some money for drugs?
Can I just have your credit card then?
Yeah, mate. Well, it's just like, oh, mate, I don't carry any cash. It's fine. I've got me a machine.
That's pretty fucking funny. Oh, sorry. Anyway.
Just tap and pay, mate.
God, I wouldn't mind getting in on Afterpay when. So the next article is about Jeff Loeb, who was accused of being a little bit racist because he said, well, at least the actor playing Nobu in Daredevil before it got cancelled, his name was Peter Shinkoda, good looking dude. But yeah, and Nobu was that like super hardcore gangster assassin, and he basically said that Marvel doesn't care about Asian actors or characters, saying it would be better now, but back in that day, like Jeff Lowe was basically one of the head writers. They had that dude in Iron Fist cast, which is a bit icky at the time. At least they had an Asian female sidekick, but that's the thing. Why couldn't you have, like Nobu, I think the actor playing him should have been Iron Fist. I know in the comics that's not how it went down, but I think we're there where we could have gone in that direction. But
I'm going to play devil's
it was a
advocate.
missed opportunity.
Yes?
Yep.
When he said that bloke there, I'm assuming, the one below,
Right.
when he said that nobody cares about Asian people,
That's right.
was he saying that in the sense that, like, look, the industry just doesn't, like, we don't
No,
sell
I think
anymore?
specifically
Or was he
meant
just saying, like, no, we're
that
fucking assholes?
guy, like that executive at Marvel and the people around him, didn't think that there was a market for Asian people. He didn't think that there would be enough interest in Asians on the screen.
Okay, that's
And he's saying
that's
that's
not
changed now,
necessarily
hopefully.
racist. That's not necessarily racist. it's a fucking dick thing to say. Well, no, because if you go back... No, okay, let's go way back into the acting industry. When is it? Like, man. Shakespearean times, okay?
Yeah, keep digging.
In Shakespearean times, women didn't act. Males portrayed the roles of females. And when you needed to portray a young female, sometimes they would castrate the boy.
That's the worst point you could possibly make. But okay.
No, I'm telling you
so it used to be really misogynist, so it's like that.
No, I'm telling you that in that industry, women weren't in that area.
I know.
So I'm just saying that I'm not saying that this guy's a good guy. I'm just saying that he's basically, in his money-making eyes,
You're
he's
talking
like...
about Jeff Loeb.
What?
Jeff Loeb, the producer.
Yeah, whoever said this, in his money-making eyes, he's not looking at it in a racist way. He's just saying, these guys don't make money in this generation.
Jeff Loeb didn't say, we don't care about Asian people. No one in their right mind is going to go out and say that. I think the actor himself
is Jackie Chan
claiming that the vibe that he was getting was that they didn't want a lot of Asian representation on screen, which is backed up by the fact that there was some great opportunities to have lots of it, and it didn't happen. Like in The Perfect Role, like you had that whole Iron Fist. I think was it only 1 or 2 seasons? But then they did the crossover stuff. They did the team stuff, and it was just they were fighting the hand. Yeah, and it was just there was a lot of missed. Hopefully, with the new film that's coming out, that will be corrected a little bit. And he's saying that now in 2020 that it is a lot better.
What if you found out that Jackie Chan was like super racist?
There was supposed to be a backstory about Nobu, and that was dropped on orders from former Marvel television head Jeff Loeb. So he's out now. There's new blood. Hopefully they do better. But I don't think you can say that's not racist. There's no way you can say that with a straight face. That's ridiculous. I know you're trying to do counterpoint like devil's advocate for the content, but that's you're just going to make yourself look ridiculous.
Okay. Let's say aliens invade.
Right.
Yeah. Right? Okay.
But it's just because they want refuge because they'd say that planet's destroyed.
Aliens aren't selling where they live.
Exactly.
How? I'm just fucking with you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
How quickly?
I'll fuck right back.
How quickly would someone try to fuck an alien?
Oh wait, are these like Star Trek aliens?
I'm
like they're basically women but just with antennas?
Like in about 3 to 5 minutes.
Oh, I get to know them like a
It's
Tinder
a question
date,
that I came up with at work, and like I had one of my coworkers go, "It's just like, what if it's like a xenomorph?" They go, "Put a xenomorph in a French maid outfit, and you tell me no."
The ultimate distraction. Shatner would be making calls.
Yeah.
Give me a room with these people.
Or it's like, how long before it's, LGBTQA for anyone who's attracted to aliens. And then I can see the boomers now. We voted yes for gay marriage, but I will not vote yes for interspecies.
Well, there's already A for asexual, I thought. I thought that got added. LGBTQIA.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not, up to date on that.
I just call it alphabet community.
Yeah, that sounds easy. Yeah, I know it's easy, but it does.
That sounds really offensive.
Look, I know it's apparently offensive, but I feel like it's worse to fuck up the letters.
It's the sort of thing. It's not that hard to learn the letters. It's the sort of thing an alt-right, edgy troll would use. Like alphabet.
Again, I think it's context.
What's your gender? I'm a helicopter.
I don't mean any harm by it.
I know. Once you know that people on the right do use it as a sledge, then you go, maybe I should stop using it.
No, but no, they can't fucking take away a word. No, fuck them. They can't take away a word.
Good luck with that.
Okay. I'm going to bring it back.
I'm going to cancel Matt on this podcast. That's my mission.
Cancelled.
Clerks too. I'm bringing it back.
I'm going to zoom in right here. Cancelled. And it's going to be in black and white. I'm going to put...
See if you can use
You should have me in the next bit at the beginning.
Use that Kill Bill music again. I love that shit. It looks like Tenet will be released here on the 27th.
Is it starring
August.
David Tennant?
No, it is not. It's not even spelt the same.
I'm going to make that joke every time.
There was a show. God, I have to read this thing a little bit. It was called like Chewing Gum or something on Netflix, and it was really fucking cool. It was the funniest thing I'd seen in a long time. She went in places no one in their right mind would go in terms of like gross out humor and just being real and raw and.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really good. It was called Chewing Gum is actually what it was called. I couldn't believe it was that, like, you guys have to put up with it. But I'm fine. I'm reading. I don't notice the time.
Okay, let's just...
Anyway, she made that series and then went to Netflix for a second concept. Like, hey, I've got another great idea for a show based on some sexual harassment I went through, and they were like, yeah, that's cool, but we get all the copyright. Apparently that's a Netflix thing. And she's like, no, that's not going to fly. And one of the executives actually came back to her and said, oh, look, I mad respect what you're doing. I'm proud of you. You're doing the right thing, but that's not going to fly. We have to own the whole rights to... Is it that bad?
Oh, no. I just like the idea that you're telling someone really serious and it's just there's a gag going on in the background.
We're talking about Michael again. Okay, so
Which
we
will
want to
work
talk
really
about
well
this
in
guy
the
who was
audio
convicted.
only section.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing, though. That's why you get an incentive to watch the video, because I add so many more jokes to this thing.
That's true.
I'm
It is
talking
worth
I'm talking
doing that
about
if possible.
I'm talking about Michael again, and you just boot up Red Dead Redemption 2. It's, oh, cool! I completed that bounty.
Ding! That's the first mention, and it wasn't me for once.
What?
Mention
Oh, Red Dead Redemption. Oh yeah!
I'm just going to be zoomed in on me.
Samurai. Oh, okay.
There isn't a counter for you, it's only him.
Oh, okay. But he just technically mentioned it though.
No, he
because
said
I
Red
mentioned
Dead
it.
Redemption 2.
I was annoyed that on the last video when I talked about like and I should have sent it to you, the image of like the ghost in the Tsushima guy.
Yeah, you didn't do
like,
it.
behind Abby.
You never sent it to
Oh,
me, so I
I'll
was
send
like...
it to you this time.
Anyway, speaking of Ghost of Tsushima,
Right.
I
Tsushima?
bought it.
You did.
You bought it
I bought it.
on the PS4,
I don't have it yet.
the physical game.
I bought it on Amazon. It's going to be delivered on
Nice.
Tuesday.
Well, how cheap was it?
The
$69.
Yeah, not bad.
the funniest thing that I've seen in that so far, I don't know why. I think it's just because I know the voice actor does Zorro from
I'm so
One
happy
Piece.
that you bought it.
Is
Gonna borrow it.
I noticed that I think it's when he's, quote me if I'm wrong, I think it's when he's, I might be near the end of the game though. I think it's when he's riding a horse.
Yeah.
He says this one phrase. He says "dodo" or something like that.
I know.
Dodo.
I just want to keep...
I can't get that out of my head. Dodo.
Well, that's Japanese.
I'm not sure what it means.
It's
Do you know what it
almost-
means?
it's almost-
Isn't it like
it's
giddy
al-
up or something.
It's almost like hut language. Dodo.
Yeah. Maybe he's learning it while he's on the horse. Dodo.
I'm trying to decide if that's racist or not.
No, we're just quoting a word. That's all.
No, I'm making fun of Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah.
Ooga,
Anyway.
ooga, ooga. Anyway, I know nothing about the game. All I know is I don't
I bet it's
know
really
what it's
good.
about. I don't know the gameplay mechanics. I saw the visuals and went, I'm in. Also, apparently the weather changes depending on your playstyle. So I went, I'm in.
It's cute.
I like that, yeah. And I want to try it with black and white, like the old school movie looking.
Can I have it?
Akira Kurosawa
I hope
style.
there's a mode where it's like just black and white except for like
The blood? The
blood.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Oh, like Mad World
Yeah, or it's like just black and white except for the red things.
or the red. Yeah.
It's like Schindler's List.
Yeah.
Though that was just that one dress. Yeah, so her name is it Michaela? Cole?
Michaela
Right, let's go
Coel,
with
I
that.
think. Something
Anyway,
like
if you
that,
want to
yeah.
watch her new show, it's called I May Destroy You. And eventually she went with a different network. It was BBC. We're like, yeah, we'll do it. And HBO got on board and they allowed her to keep the rights. So good on them. Netflix isn't perfect. There was another thing that popped up. I don't know if oh, look, I lost the group thing. Facebook, I want to just...
So, based on the fact that he's lost his
get there.
thing, and I know that about some articles that are in the thing, Xbox have now done added something to the Game Pass. You can now stream. It's the thing that you sort of mentioned. You can stream it directly to your phone and play it anywhere with your fucking phone.
So that's like you can play like Assassin's
You got a
Creed or
controller,
something
exactly,
on your phone.
and this thing will do
Yeah.
it because it's got 16 gigs of RAM.
So that's
You posted that.
I did.
so that's out now.
No, it's they're
All their
working on
work.
it.
Oh,
It's-
okay. Yeah, that's what I was. You're singing a lot better than what I was.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's gonna be here.
Looks pretty cool, I got to say. I don't know about bringing a controller with me everywhere, but if you can stream it onto your phone at the same speed and like graphic quality as at home, then
Oh, there'll be
I'd want to
there'll be some
downgrade it.
sacrifices.
you'd want to have your headphones on and
Yeah.
all that stuff. But if you're sitting somewhere, if you're on a job where you get a bit of downtime,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's no way that it would probably be as good as say, on your PC or sitting down in front of your PS4.
You might-
There would have to be some sacrifices.
With some games, you'll definitely have some frame rate issues, I'd imagine.
Yeah. If it's something though simple,
Yeah.
like a simple game especially, then yeah, you should be right. Is it me though Am I like the only guy that has a really fucking hard time like connecting a controller to my phone? Like a normal, controller.
Okay, so here's my method because I'm I don't have any
Preparing
fancy Bluetooth things like that. I bought a USB-C to a USB-A adapter that I just plugged a cord into my phone, plugged that into the thing, and I streamed my phone to my TV, and I was playing old school PlayStation 1 games that was running off my phone that was streaming to my TV.
Okay, so you like literally just like plugged it into the port. Okay.
So where are you playing these PlayStation 1 games natively? Like they're
On the phone.
On the phone.
So what's that, an app that
Yeah.
has all the PS1 games? Cool.
No, it's an emulation app software.
Yeah. So once you get the PS5 and you're at work and you've got, the Xbox that streams, how does that work? Do you log into your Xbox Live account? It knows you own that game and it's just going to...
I'd imagine so.
Yeah. We're living in the future. But yeah, going on from Tenet being released, it's the first time a major American film has dropped outside of the continental United States. So basically, they've given up on waiting for America to get its shit together. Hollywood's like, fuck it. We have to go wide as we can, considering we lose that box office. So it's being released in 70 countries, including here, thankfully, most of Europe, South Korea, all the countries that had their shit together and kicked the virus in the teeth, or at least held it at bay long enough to open up our economy again. Let's not mention Victoria, shall we? Because otherwise we're dead.
Victoria.
I'm
I'm gonna put the Kill Bill siren on me then.
There was a bit of flack online. I don't know how real the flack was, but Joe Rogan had a little aside when he was talking to one of his guests.
Oh,
I think it
Ninja,
was-
who gives a
Yeah, I don't really
Fuck.
care about what Ninja thinks. I don't know who that
I don't
is,
think
really.
he's a good person.
He's like basically the quote unquote king of Fortnite.
I think he's toxic.
But it reminds me of the outrage
Oh,
after
but he's not going to sponsor us.
Bill
though.
Burr was on Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan said only pussies wear masks.
Oh,
But if you were listening to the entire episode, you would know that he was just fucking with Bill Burr.
oh, okay.
But he copped a lot
If
of...
he's-
Like, I was
he's
reading
just
the
fucking
Reddit
around, alright.
response to
Oh,
it,
it's-
and all these... I don't listen to him anymore. What an idiot. How could he say that?
It's the one.
And
It's like the
he was
one
just
quote
winding
at a
up.
comedy show taken out of context.
Yeah,
that it's just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
immediately keyboard.
Yeah.
Again, it's context.
And if you're
yeah.
listening to him broadly, like over the last few months, you would know that he doesn't actually think that.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's had plenty of people on, like actual doctors that promote, wearing masks and taking all the right precautions.
Yeah.
But he did go off a bit, and it showed his bias as an MMA announcer and martial arts practitioner, that he thinks that if you just spend all your time gaming, it's a complete waste of time, and you should be out there on the mat, rolling around, and that's the only potential place where you could be doing something that you're passionate about and eventually make money from it. Like, hey, you can open your own gym and start training people. And I don't know. I tend to think that if you're going to game a lot, there's a greater chance of making money from that.
Yeah.
Whether it's streaming or esports or,
He's just unfortunately closed-minded to that area.
Yeah,
Because he's not. That's not where he grew up, and that's not.
Yeah.
He wasn't ever.
And he'll be the first to admit he doesn't know shit. He's a comedian. He's not an expert. He's just spewing shit. So I think it's just making a mountain out of a molehill. I don't agree with him most of the time. I still think he still makes me laugh. And 99% of the reason I still listen is because A, my phone just automatically downloads it. And so I'm like, well, it's there. And B, he has some really cool guests on. I'll skip the martial arts stuff, even though you're probably into that. But
Very much so.
he's had some really good, interesting celebrities and other crazy people that like walked across the entire planet or whatever crazy adventures. And
You ever tried DMT, man?
that
DMT.
stuff, yeah, like when he talks about sitting in like an isolation tank and just doing like crazy amounts of psychedelics, I always find that interesting. So I can't afford that sort of setup, but one can dream.
So Pat just puts a towel over his head.
Well, you know what you need to do. You
wet
need to
towel.
start working out more. You need to do something real so you can afford these things, Pat.
Yeah.
Do a real job. Have real hobbies, bruh.
I mean, there's only two jiu-jitsu academies in Blacktown. It's
There's-
begging for a third.
There's the UFC gym.
Yeah.
If you want Muay Thai, there's Full Force gym. I'm gonna count Kings Park as Blacktown.
Yeah, that's Blacktown. Because there's two out that way.
Gracie Barra,
Yeah, there was
which
Gracie.
I briefly went to.
Right, and I did as well. And then they changed the name to something else, and then there's a new Gracie Barra around the corner. So there's plenty out there. And
UFC gym is expensive. I will not be going there until my current gym contract ends.
they
and
spend a
then
lot
I'll
of money
consider
on advertising on Facebook.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
I do love how our outfits get less fashionable as you go down.
Hey, it's the first day
This is
it
a
was warm enough
fancy
to wear
new
shorts.
jacket.
That's quite nice. It's very it's almost like Elder Max on in Fallout 4.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Only you're not a dick, and he's like,
Do you know me?
well, you're
You're not a genocidal fascist.
You're
put
like
it that way.
you're like a dick. He's like a dick.
So speaking of weird dicks, we've all been watching Umbrella Academy. Season 2 dropped.
I'm up to season 1, episode 5.
All right. So at
That's
the
where
end
I
of season
stopped
1, the entire world blows up because Venya, what's her name? The one that's a lesbian, and she's really awesome and was in that movie that went just everywhere, and it was made for like $5. Was it Paul Rudd that was in that? Anyway, she gets really pissed off and explodes the moon, and everything falls on them. So they all go back in time to 1963, and it's all centered around JFK in season 2. So good times. I recommend sticking with
Man,
it.
I'm going to use the Kill Bill siren twice in this episode. Both times on me.
I'm not giving away too much on time. Like this.
You told me what happens.
As someone
Yeah,
who's watched like a good portion of the first season, I had no idea none of that shit happened. I mean, I'm fine with it. I don't care.
I don't know. I don't think I'm revealing stuff that matters too much. It's just vague structural things. Like I think what's important is the character arcs. I'm not revealing that, and like the interactions between the different people that you meet. And because they're all just like the two agents, there's these two guys that wear like clown masks or something. There's a female and a male agent, and they've got a really cool chemistry. I love those two.
And it turns out the briefcase is a time machine.
Yeah, and it keeps getting shot and thrown around, and they're all chasing it, and it's just really, really cool show. I thought the first season lagged a little here and there, or was a little incoherent, and some of the characters were a little bit like, there's that crazy hippie
Klaus.
He's fascinating to watch, but he doesn't seem to have a lot to do. In the second season, that changes. He does a lot.
He's the same actor that's in
Misfits.
Oh yeah.
He's basically the same character, but he has a bigger drug
It's
issue.
weird that I have seen a lot
And
of
can talk
Misfits,
to
and I
people.
totally didn't.
Misfits
connect
is amazing. I've seen it like twice.
Wow.
Yeah,
Like-
Misfits is cool.
I haven't seen all of it, but there's some cool episodes. There's one where this guy's trying to break up with his girlfriend. It was one episode, and he just keeps getting it wrong.
The
and
black
pissing
fella
off.
that goes back.
Yeah, he
in
can
time.
go, but he can do like a little Groundhog Day
Yeah.
for like 10 minutes or something,
Um,
and he just does it again and again and again.
there's a new thing on Netflix, and also we've got there's a new thing on yes, I'll just end it. I'll just cut it.
Right, next.
There's a new thing on Netflix that I'm watching. It's called Good Girls because I stopped watching Umbrella Academy, and it's 3 women who
They
basically
start selling drugs.
no, they robbed a grocery store, and it's connected. to
Oh, they start laundering money for a drug cartel.
No, and it's connected to a drug cartel, and then they got to pay it back, and that's all in the first episode. And then in the second episode, it's like, all right, well, I need you to go smuggle drugs for us because you still owe me money.
They end up laundering money though,
Cool.
because I've seen like.
I think
most
it's
of
I think it's a remake. Honestly, I think
Yeah, I
they
think there was
made
a-
the series
there
and
was a
they've
movie.
recasted it.
Recast.
Redone, yeah. Recasted.
That's not a word.
Custard.
I like custard.
This podcast is
Recasted.
brought to you by Custard. Unfortunately, I'm lactose intolerant.
The
But
yellow stuff. There's no brand.
I'm
just custard in general.
supposed to.
The custard industry.
yeah, I'm gonna
Lobbyists do.
put custard right here, and I'm gonna hide whatever brand it is.
So, I don't know. I think that if it's the same one we're talking about, they do end up laundering money, and it's a fun show. A little by the numbers, but I like the guy who plays the cartel that's sort of handling them. The cartel gang member.
Rio,
He's
whatever
quite
his
good.
name is.
He's I'm pretty sure he's in Better Call Saul. He's like one of the main characters in that. And if you haven't seen that, what the fuck? So
I mean,
Get
I
on it.
own all of Breaking Bad,
yeah, so you better get into
and I've seen the first season of Better Call Saul.
the next 2 seasons are fucking amazing. So do that. Sony has revealed the first of a couple of different models that are PS5 focused and ready TVs. So if you turn on the controller, the TV turns on at the same time. So that's worth spending an extra.
That's
couple
what
of grand for.
my
Oh, fuck
Samsung
that.
TV does. Is if I turn on my TV, my Xbox turns on.
Nice.
But anyway, I'd much rather have it that the PS5 is inside the TV included.
I mean, why not? People are going to buy them.
Just bundle it.
Yeah.
Just put it in there.
have it like-
Remember in the old school TVs how we'd have a DVD player in them sometimes? Boom.
That's where it's going. No, but apparently the pictures like tweaked and like custom made specially to highlight all the graphical capabilities of the PS5. And I don't know, my TV's all right, but if I was going to get a new TV, I'd definitely be looking closely at those.
What about this? Would be something that you do like potentially to test the waters. Just hypothetical. What if you made a TV? It'd be difficult, where you could kind of slip the PS5 in, kind of like a switch. You'd slip the PS5 inside the TV. And then if you wanted to just take it to a friend's house or something, you can pull it out the TV and just fucking.
I mean, that's not
take it
hard.
with you.
You just that's all it is you just have like a docking sort of cradle.
Because one of the downers with having like if you say you had like that TV, that's huge. Like if you wanted to take it to a mate's place, might be a bit of a but. Or if you wanted to move or something, might be difficult.
They already sort of do that. There's these things called tiny in ones, which essentially is. It's a monitor. It's essentially meant to be an all-in-one computer. It's a monitor that comes in. It's got a dock that's got an actual little tiny desktop that's about this big that plugs in. That you can take it out, plug it back in, but it's built to have it in there. So it's a thing.
Okay.
It's just like a PC that's really small desktop thing.
Most currently, the Department of Health Services that's what they're using because they're a client of mine. They're just it's a shit ton, but it's slowing down now, thankfully. It's a shit ton. I'm talking. I got to process like 144 computers that image done brand new all in a day. Every day. Not to mention the monitors.
And he's got like 6 friends already lined up trying to get into that job too. So don't even bother. Trump says he's banning TikTok in the US.
Yeah, he's actually launched an executive order yesterday.
So hot off the press with that. It won't be hot by the time you hear this, but hey.
Do you know some of the reasons why?
Because it's a Chinese spyware.
Owned currently, I think the majority of shareholders are basically Chinese government, even though there's been some pushback on that. He said unless an American or foreign company, unless China basically is no longer involved in running the company, then he's going to ban it.
I think Microsoft was looking at buying
India's already banned it, so it wouldn't be the first time.
Because some of the, like when I looked this up as well, before he mentioned the ban thing, because some of my fans was recommending that I start using TikTok.
For the voice impressions alone.
Yeah, I've thought about it, like eventually when I do more cosplays, just to do like characters.
Isn't a lot of it miming though? They're not really using their own voice.
Oh,
I use my own audio most of the time.
Yeah, you're correct. Most don't use their own audio, but I would just pretend like it's Instagram and just put little videos out. Basically, because it's a foreign sort of app, they have different rules and regulations, so their spyware laws and stuff are a lot more looser. Meaning that things like Facebook and shit, they spy the shit out of you, but they have different rules, and plus the America and stuff, they also have, they're involved in that. They have they get a piece of the profits and things like that.
Piece of the pie.
Piece of the pie. So not only are their spy regulations, as far as I know, worse, but they're also not getting profits from this as well. And they can't really do anything about it, as far as I know, because it's another place. They can't, as far as I know, they can't
it's like
go after them specifically, but they can shut down the app where it lives. Kind of like with games, if they think, oh no, this is really offensive, we're going to ban this.
It's like if you've got like a cyberbullying issue here over Facebook, it's really hard for the Australian government to sort of do anything about that because they can't really contact Facebook so easily compared to the US.
Oh, okay. Is that why
I mean, that's partly why it took so long for Facebook to shut down all those videos of the Christchurch massacre. Because they just couldn't get in touch with anyone.
Speaking of the Christchurch massacre.
Oh boy.
A comedian.
Yeah.
By the name of Pat.
He's ironically done a lot of edgy humour based on the fact that, like, he talks about cancel culture and offensive humour. That's part of his entire shtick. Yeah. And he went a little bit too far with one joke. I don't know if you're going to just play the clip or...
I'll put the clip in the video right here.
This Australian extremist stormed this building, this mosque, this room, where people were saying their prayers and going about their business. And for me, the saddest thing about that, it wasn't the 52 people who were killed. It wasn't the countless others who had their lives changed forever because their family members were taken from them. It was the hundreds of people that night who couldn't make it home from nightclubs in Christchurch because all the cabbies were dead.
little funny, but it is in poor taste.
Yeah, no, that's
It's
about
kinda
as
like-
poor taste as poor taste gets.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I cringed a
I'm
little.
I'm all for any kind of joke.
I think you
But
needed
it
at
is a
least.
little
I
bit
think
in
you
poor
needed at
taste, I
least
will say
another
that.
year.
Yeah, I mean, it has been
When
a
did it
year,
happen?
but Jesus,
It's only
man.
been a year, I
Yeah.
think. I think you needed at least one.
I
more.
thought he did it like a week later or something. By the way
it's
you were
all about-
talking about
No,
it.
no, that was another comedian with the Dreamworld stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Okay.
No, it's been a while,
I mean-
but not long enough. Like, dude, that's...
Yeah.
One of those
I mean,
comedians
I
may
think-
have been me.
I think he
Like,
can.
it's not just racist, but
Yeah.
it's also mocking and making light of a tragedy that a lot of people died in. And I'm pretty edgy, but...
I
and
mean,
I've seen memes about the Beirut explosion.
I was going to say, speaking of tragedies,
Yeah.
the
I
Beirut
wouldn't share
explosion.
if he want, I think if he wants to make this joke, he could go for it. It's a bit in poor taste, but yeah, like I've definitely. Yeah, he's gonna get what is it called? Social consequences. You
Yeah,
say
I mean,
that
there's
kind of
freedom
shit
of
to the wrong
speech, but there's
people.
no freedom from the consequences of your actions. So we'll see. I don't think it's going to probably
Well, I
make
don't
too
think he
much...
should get beaten up or anything, but.
No, but the thing is, will he lose money or...
I don't think he
bookings?
will.
don't
I
he
think
will. I think he's
it's,
played right to his audience. It's
it's
like Trump.
exactly. It's the situation of no publicity is bad publicity.
Yeah, in terms of booking gigs and stuff, he's still going to sell.
I think he's
Any
gonna. I think he's gonna get more audience because of that.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah,
he's
like
so
any
brave.
publicity is good publicity.
So what's the thing they say? It's like stunning and brave. So
How could you post something so like like so?
What do you
what's
think-
The term?
What do you think of edgy comedians and like George Carlin and stuff?
Oh, George Carlin's great, but to be fair, my favorite comedian of all time is Bill Burr.
Bill Burr's not bad.
Bill Burr, hands down.
but you don't
Oh,
listen
wow.
to his podcast, do you? Yeah, so controversial.
Yeah, so how can you say something so controversial yet so brave?
Basically, yeah.
Get an
there's like a
American
million-
flag behind
Why?
it.
It's Eric Andre.
Yeah, why would you say something so controversial yet so brave? And there's a petition going around
For him to replace
Ellen.
Ellen because Ellen is a piece of shit, which is something I've been reading about for
Well,
many
her
years.
producer's been accused of sexual harassment, so it's not so much her, but her people she works with. But yeah, she's been accused of being a bit of a bitch too. Like,
Yeah.
So it's all bad.
Like you know, you see Ellen on screen. That's like the exact opposite of what Ellen is in life.
Apparently, she's a total cunt. I don't think either of us are ever going to get on the show now, but
Oh, well, I
said
don't
that.
know.
Just have
I
to live
don't
with
get to dance with Ellen and
Yeah.
then get slimed on by some random bullshit. Hey, here we go. This is how this is ready. I'm gonna put you on the Ellen show right now. Bah! It's the Ellen show.
bring out a sloth and make Kristen Bell cry. Like, I don't know. It's good for some viral clips, but
I'm gonna give.
The people
Here's
that go nuts for it,
$20,000. I'm giving this to you. It's the sponsors. I'm giving this to you.
for free. Look at this giant check with the sponsor's name.
This
all over
check alone cost $800 to make. The sponsors,
I always wondered how the fuck you cash those things in.
with great difficulty.
So I like the cat. All right, just sliding the wind up. Pull, pull.
No, I'd imagine it's one of these
They've got a
situations.
smaller
I'd
version.
imagine it's just an exact copy where it basically goes, "I give us that back," and they just fucking
Yeah.
shred the thing.
It's like, here's the real
Moving on, Jason Kingsley, the CEO of Rebellion, who owns the rights to Judge Dredd, has said they're ready. They've got scripts. They don't quite have actors or a streaming service, but I think they've got money. The only thing they're waiting for is the COVID.
Who's Kingsley?
His name is Jason Kingsley. We're not
And
talking about the Kings.
Any relation to Ben Kingsley?
I don't think so, no.
Wait a minute.
There's probably a lot of Kingsleys out there.
Did you say they have no actors?
No, we've got scripts.
I
Everything
can
is
be-
ready to go, but because of the situation with the COVID problem, we're not shooting yet.
Can I be one of the crack addicts who's always in the Judge Dredd movies?
But once Carl Urban is done with The Boys, he's a shoo-in. They're
Yeah.
looking at him, and
Well, no, he's done Dredd before, and he was
yeah,
great.
He was awesome. It's arguably one of the greater science fiction movies of 2010s. So
Even 2000s in general, you
it
could
definitely,
say.
definitely deserves a good series. And once The Boys is wrapped up, you can go straight into it. So looking, there's the joke.
Oh, it was
His
him.
name is
I like him.
Isaac Butterfield.
Yeah, I was like,
Butter.
Butterfield.
He does a lot of. He's got a YouTube channel.
He's cool, yeah.
And but I've seen some stuff where he's a little bit too far right for me.
He's very. It feels, even though I like him, it feels like he's trying to be people like. He's basically trying to be like Louis C.K. and George Carlin.
It's the situation of
that's like his sort of thing.
there is no way on earth he didn't know this exactly was going to happen.
Yeah. No, he totally.
like,
that's his thing.
He would have known that he would have
Yeah, no.
definitely pissed some people off.
No,
by
I think he
saying it.
knew he'd get media attention from this, and he purposely did it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you think it was a publicity stunt?
100%. If he knows, I think either way he was going to tell the joke, and I think the publicity stunt helped.
Yeah. I mean, he said, as someone who I don't really watch him too much anymore, but as someone who did frequent his channel a lot, I will say that I frequent his channel a lot. But what I will say is the joke that you mentioned about that does seem very different to what he would normally.
Really? Okay.
Well, because for example, he was on this radio show, I think, was talking shit about him.
Yeah.
And he was saying really edgy jokes to them.
Yeah,
there was vegans, and he's talked shit about cyclists and stuff.
That's it.
And
He
he
does-
sort of backs up kind of what he's saying, even though he's being really edgy and offensive about it. But with this, he's just sort of it just seems different. So I will agree with you there that it does kind of
spirited as
Yes,
usual.
yes.
I-
Moving on.
Yeah. Carry on. Sorry.
The Orville is rumoured. I'm not going to say it's confirmed, but the channel that it went over to Hulu, and then they've said season 3 will be the last season they do with it, which isn't out yet. I've seen season 1 and 2, and they're both amazing. Seth MacFarlane doing Star Trek better than Star Trek right now. Not that I mind Discovery that much, but weirdly, the Orville feels more like Star Trek, the Next Generation and stuff, than the new Discovery series.
Yeah.
And it's just perfect. It's just so watchable and funny and moving. It just hits every button for me. So to hear that the 3rd season might be its last, they can still shop around to another network. Like maybe Amazon will pick them up. Who knows?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
They can maybe.
Hopefully Jeff Bezos, I mean, he's certainly got enough money. His son gets on board because he's a bit of a sci-fi fan. That's the only reason. The Expanse is still going, and we're looking for a 5th season.
Is that wise? Because it's like, Taddy, I want it.
Yeah, basically, that's what happened. He found out that it was going to get cancelled, and Bezos basically moved in and kept it going. So, if he's done one good thing, other than like treat his workers like shit, he's given us more Expanse.
Money, money, money.
BBC has been recently flooded with complaints after a teenage...
Mutant Ninja Turtles. No?
Oh, did we already talk about they're doing like a version where one of them dies? No.
Yes.
One of them lives.
Yes,
And
we've
I reckon
covered that.
Yeah, Michelangelo would be my choice. Anyway,
Well, obviously,
so,
if it's like the last samurai, whatever it is, it's going to be Leonardo.
why? Because he's the one with the sword.
Yeah.
Right. Fair enough.
It's also always he's the last one left. Whenever they all get kicked, it's always fucking Leonardo versus Shredder.
Yeah. Well, I can't find the original article, but essentially it's like a kid show with like Sabrina the Teenage Witch, something like that.
Yeah.
And there was 2 girls, and they kissed on screen. Oh my god, people losing their mind. In 2020, current year, can you believe it? But I just like the
I'm going to
the text that went with this. It was because in England you have to pay a tax, no matter what. Like if they find you've got a TV, you're paying a license fee to have that TV.
Could I have a request? If you're going to read that, could you pretend to be this person? Like,
Well, that's the whole point.
yeah. Could you but get into it?
Man behaving dadly. I love it.
Yeah, like just get into the character though.
Okay, I didn't really have a character in mind, but
You don't have to do a voice specifically.
you just generally that's what I do. So
Yeah,
have some faith.
Yeah.
So
Gotta have faith.
my license
faith,
fee has been used to trigger fist-clenching, spam-faced homophobes, while simultaneously letting young girls who are struggling with their sexuality know that they're finally being represented in the media, worth every fucking penny. So I don't know if that worked, but
That's fine.
I love the sentiment.
Matt's disappointed.
Yeah, he looks pretty sad.
No.
Professional, amateur, what can you do? Melbourne has been postponed until next year. Brisbane, same 2021. Adelaide.
What are you talking
June.
about?
A convention, funnily enough. I don't know how I skipped over that part. All I can see is Melbourne in big text. But Oz Comic Con is not happening this year whatsoever at all. I think Supernova's still rumoured to be going ahead somewhere.
Yeah,
but
doubt that.
we'll see.
Okay. And our guests, Chris Hemsworth and Zac Efron, because they're here.
Supernova, they're talking about only having Australian guests, of course. But I don't know if they've got.
I mean,
anyone
Zac
big enough
Efron is living here right now.
Really?
Yeah.
For what movie?
No, he's not. No movie. He's just here. He's like moving here to Byron Bay.
Why?
Because he doesn't like LA. Same
nuts.
reason why Hemsworth did it. He was like,
And
it's too much.
It makes sense if you're shooting here, but
If you can if you can still have a stable career, which I think Chris has actually mentioned that he's able to still make a successful
A
career.
lot of people are pissed off about, especially on Reddit, and that's where it counts, that the Avengers video game
Yep.
has an exclusive only for Sony users.
Yeah,
Spider-Man, and
Dick
who would
move.
have guessed that?
dick move.
The company that owns Spider-Man says, you know what, we'll only have Spider-Man.
We'll take that. I don't know if you can be that mad about that. I mean, any real gamer would have an Xbox and a PlayStation, so deal with it.
Well, I mean, they've done this before in Soul Caliburs. They always lock off certain characters.
As well as
Xbox 360 had Yoda,
that's
and
a
the other one
precedent.
you had Darth Vader.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance do it as well.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I know that with the Batman Arkham Asylum one, you could play as the Joker on the PS3, if I'm correct. And then on the
I don't know,
360
let's
you
find
couldn't.
out, Jaden. Is it?
I believe you can. So it was like a couple levels, I think, or something, or a challenge level. But like, of course, if you're a company, it makes sense. It's a dick move,
Right.
but it
it
makes
is a
sense
dick
as a
move, but
company.
at the same point, if
And
I
they've
was
done it
like the
before.
CEO of PlayStation, I'd be like,
Like-
yeah, no, fucking, we're not giving
like-
them Spider-Man.
Yeah, I don't personally blame them for doing it, but I don't think it's not good for consumers.
They pay a lot of money for the rights to Spider-Man,
Yeah.
and they're going to leverage that investment any way they can. So,
Oh yeah.
to me, it doesn't
More
seem
power
like
to
that
them.
controversial.
Yeah, it's not controversial.
What is controversial is that Blizzard staff are barely making ends meet. We're talking about the coalface here, the coders, the programmers, the artists. They're basically drinking the free coffee at work to use as an appetite suppressant. They would only eat oatmeal and bail on team lunches because they couldn't afford to buy food at the company cafeteria. Partners would stop talking about having kids because they knew they wouldn't be able to afford it. This would contrast with pictures they saw of senior employees enjoying vacations to Disneyland. The CEO makes $40 million a year and his employees can't make ends meet. They're barely getting by with rent and they have to do 2 or 3 jobs. And
If that's not a strike coming, I don't know what is.
well, it's just that companies like that have a popular product that they know people would love to be involved with because they've grown up playing that game or being, fans of stuff that developer has produced. They know that they can pay peanuts. And
Yeah,
still,
but Blizzard's getting some bad
Someone else
publicity
will
lately.
come in.
yeah, it hasn't made them look great. As long as they are still going to have people lining up to work there, they can
They can do that.
exploit them. So yeah, it's a bit shit, and hopefully, because the whole
It's like
point of
that
this was
Mulan
that
thing.
a bunch of employees put together a spreadsheet comparing their wages, and it didn't look good for the
bode
company.
well.
And I think a whole bunch got fired. So yeah, fuck Activision. They're being dicks.
Because they were talking
Activision.
about it.
Yeah, don't they own it?
No, Blizzard.
Yeah, but
Blizzard
don't.
Blizzard is partnered with Activision, if I'm
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
But they're their own separate entities
Yeah.
still. Unless that was the no, they
Whoever's
broke
in
up
charge,
with Bungie, if
not
I'm
cool.
correct.
Pay them what they're are worth. Moving on, because I think we're running out of time. Like you mentioned before with Mulan,
Yep.
it will be on Disney Plus. They've given up
For
on it ever making
$30 USD.
Yeah.
I think that's a bit much.
I think you're talking about 38 Australian or something,
Yeah,
whatever they come up with.
I think 15 US should be the top.
Yeah. To
Are you going to be raising are you going to even go to the length of raising the Jolly Roger, or are you just going to wait till it's free?
I probably wasn't going to watch the movie to begin
I'm
with.
not interested.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm not a big fan of the main actress. She supports the regime in China.
Yeah.
It's currently killing millions of Uyghurs.
yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, for some people who might think it's weird to buy a movie on a thing like the Disney Plus, it's a similar thing with Amazon Prime and stuff. If I'm correct, sometimes you can
I've
just
seen
you
that.
have a selection,
Yeah.
but you can also buy to keep something.
Yeah, like-
that's rent though, if I'm correct.
Yeah, and I've seen that as well. On, Foxtel does it, and Amazon. I've seen it. They've suggested, hey, you can watch this movie. Just
Hey, you
pay
want
an
to watch
extra
Birds
amount.
of Prey today to rent?
Exactly,
Yeah.
and I've never done that because I'm I'm already paying $20 a month or whatever for each of these services. So
Yeah.
and I haven't. Once I've watched
kind
every
of-
single thing on that service.
I think my Amazon Prime is my cheapest subscription.
Yeah, that's not that bad actually.
I think it's $10.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It-
Netflix and Stan are a little bit. They're
I pay
about 20.
18 for both of those because I
Yeah.
want it in 4K.
Yeah, same. I think that's just the standard. That's the default setting. Director of Captain Marvel 2 has been announced, and that's Nia DaCosta. and she's the first African American female to direct a Marvel movie. So that's pretty cool.
I was going to be happy about that. Natalie Portman.
Right.
Because she wore the dress to one of the award ceremonies that had all female directors written on it.
Yeah, there's definitely an imbalance there, and it's it's arguable whether that's because more women apply for those jobs, but then you've got to look at is that because they're seeing more directors that are men in the industry, so women just think, what do you call that bias? Implicit bias, where they grow up not seeing enough female directors, so they're like, well, that avenue's just not open.
I was a bit of a director today, as you would have hopefully seen in our new intro.
Yeah, enjoy that.
Yeah, because, I'm really pandering towards the video audience. I'm sorry, audio, but, Audacity dies on me half the time, so fuck that.
Yeah,
this
we're having a lot
podcast
of
is
fun.
not sponsored by Audacity.
Yeah, I got to admit, it's a lot more fun to edit videos, so I'm not looking back. Just the last little bit, Netflix, there's a theory that this is true, after 2 seasons they do have to start renegotiating and paying the actors and the writers and everyone a lot more. So they tend to, even if the show's going really well and has lots of viewers, they'll cancel it after 2 seasons. Thankfully with Stranger Things that's not the case, but that's rather an exception. Thankfully with a show that we both enjoyed, the first German series that I ever watched, How to Sell Drugs Online Fast. I think it was the title that got me hooked first. And then the engaging actors, even though the main character is a complete and total giant douchebag, kind of based on
Oh yeah, no, he is the worst.
he's supposed to be kind of
He's meant to be
early Mark Zuckerberg / Steve Jobs, he's autistic.
combined
almost.
with Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he's got
He'll walk up to people, he'll type something and show them. It's almost like if you ever saw the latest Kevin Smith movie, Reboot, Silent Bob, he does that with his phone. He just shows emojis to people.
Yeah.
He's that bad at communication. And somehow scores this amazingly hot girlfriend. So there's a lot of stretching belief. I mean, I know how dodgy it is to say that because she's supposed to be a teenager, though she's probably 25.
Hey, this is German. Age of consent's 14.
I think it is Japan as well. They got that weird age of consent.
Why didn't Jeffrey Epstein just go to Germany?
Yeah. Is it really?
Yeah, I think it's 14.
It's messed up.
I'll let you check your facts.
Yeah. Well, it's Europe. Who knows? But basically,
I had a
it's
buddy
a fun
who...
show. I've been listening to the soundtrack on Spotify recently. Every song is an absolute banger. So yeah, I just recommend it highly and put it on. What got me to switch over from German to English was when the actor from Star Trek: The Next Generation came out to do a cute little documentary style infomercial. It was more the more you know.
Yeah,
explaining
I'm watching
ecstasy.
it in English. Yeah.
Yeah. Jonathan Frakes, I think it was, from Star Trek. And
But
as soon as I heard him speaking German, I was like, maybe this is a David Hasselhoff thing where he's gone and learnt German and has a whole another career over there. But then I flicked to English just in case, and no, that was definitely him doing it himself, and then someone had dubbed over him in German. And then I just tried it out, and I was like, no, the dubbing's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good, and it, if it's just don't pay attention to the lip movement that much.
No, and it makes more sense later on when you've got Dutch in there as well, and which you're not up to yet. Yeah. They meet a bunch of Dutch people. I don't want to. It's definitely something that I could spoil badly, so I'm just going to leave it and say that it's worth sticking.
So it was you're glad I recommended it.
Yeah, no, it's fun. I mainly watched it because I thought it was going to be a documentary that would teach me how to sell drugs online really, really fast. But unfortunately, it is just a soap opera. I mean, you could maybe pick up a few hints, but it's...
I mean, okay, you'll learn to sell drugs online as fast as good as Breaking Bad teaches you to make meth.
Pretty much, yeah. Unless you've got a friend that's some elite level hacker that can set up a cryptocurrency /safe website thing. Yeah, you're not... And you still have to find someone that can airdrop drugs to you or some other tricky way and then know how to launder money. And there's a whole lot involved that makes you go... And to be honest, and it is kind of spoilery, no one really gets away with anything for very long. It's...
You get caught.
It's not pretending that it's you'll get away with it. And there is a strong character arc in terms of development. This kid is an absolute shit stain, and later on he does learn to connect with his humanity and the people around him. And it's not on the nose and cheesy. It's done in a believable way. So yeah, and there's so many pop culture references. Clearly German kids growing up just watch the same shit we do, so that helps. So There's one reference though. It's like they're talking about some actor, and they're like, "Oh no, that guy hasn't done anything." Robert Downey Jr. And I don't know I can't remember why they brought him up, but they were like, because he did cocaine. They're thinking, who's cool that does cocaine? Cocaine's fucked. No one should do that. And then the other kid, the good-looking, handsome blonde kid, they call him James Dean, and he's like, Robert Downey Jr. And
Charlie Sheen was really cool at one point.
yeah. But and the backhand is, well, no, that was before Iron Man. That was pre-Iron Man. No one thought he was cool pre-Iron Man. And then the blonde kid's like, well, he was pretty cool in Ally McBeal. And they both turn around, the other two guys, and they're like, what are you, 40? So it's like, they're clearly acknowledging that the writers are probably 40 and then making fun of themselves for referencing something so old. So there's a lot of fourth wall stuff.
It's a fun show.
There's one thing I want to mention where they're in like a pool, and it's probably the first episode. They're about to like just move into this other scene where someone's mum's there, and she's like arranging the table or something. And I don't know why he's in the fucking pool area and he's sitting there all sort of, and he's like awkwardly from home togs. They're basically like boxers. And you can see everything. You're just like, oh, you poor kid. And everyone's just kind of looking at him and he's freaking out. And for some reason it trails off into like, let's explain what MDMA is. And instead of it just being like a whole segment that you have to sit through, explaining that...
You can skip
you
can
skip it. Like,
it says, there's an
this.
option that says skip intros. Like, if you know what ecstasy is, skip intro.
Yeah, and I actually skipped it to see if it would work, and it just smoothly went into the next scene. But it was like an...
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it was an actor in the scene, suddenly started talking about... it would sort of skip to her, and she's like, okay, MDMA, blah, blah, blah. But if you, like you said, don't want to hear this, you can skip it. And then it was like, bam, it had never happened. So that reminded me of that Bandersnatch that they did where the whole thing was choose your own adventure. But it was light enough not to be annoying. Because that was on a loop.
Man,
like
German
that.
Netflix, they're ahead of us.
Yeah. And they do a few other little tricks like that later on. But,
I'll have to start watching it again.
Yeah, so there's that. Like, Netflix can be a bit cynical and a bit like... They yank things like Fox used to do in the worst. Like they killed Angel, they killed Firefly too early. So, they're not the only channel that does that, but
like
it's a
EA,
little...
but with TV shows.
A little cynical. About it. Oh yeah, there's that writer, Warren Ellis. He's a great comic book writer. He's done a lot of TV stuff. He's been cancelled. So, sorry, any fans of him. He wrote Transmetropolitan, a whole bunch of Batman stories. He's pulled his own Batman story out of an anthology that was about to be released. He was writing the Netflix show Castlevania Beyond.
I think I have the final piece because I just remembered this is an article that I shared today.
Okay. Yeah, the Rocksteady thing. Why is that a big deal?
Because they're the people who made the Batman Arkham games.
They're good games. I didn't realise that.
A Suicide Squad game.
All right. Is it going to be as good as Arkham Asylum?
I imagine it's going to... I imagine the combat system will be the exact same and all that, so...
Well, that's the only...
I'm bored of it, though.
Yeah, well, that's the only criticism I've heard of Ghosts of Tsushima. It looks great, but the gameplay is very similar to a lot of other games that have come before it.
Yeah,
because
the unfortunate thing about it is that in Arkham Asylum, it was good. I hadn't seen it before. Arkham City had come out, and then at that point, I still liked it, but at that point, everyone and their fucking mother was copying it because, of course, it was selling. Then by the time the third one and the fourth, I stopped because everyone was doing that combat system. Doesn't mean it's bad. It's, you know what I mean though. Like if you don't, it's kind of like getting sequel after sequel with a movie. Eventually, even if it's good, like you keep seeing it again and again, and it becomes like one movie a year, for example.
Like for example,
it's stale if it's
the
just kind of the
Fast
same thing.
and Furious.
There's been some ups and downs.
I would like to see a good Suicide Squad game. It's just I hope that it's basically not a carbon copy.
No, I think it's the situation of, because it is the Suicide Squad, I assume there's going to be different playable characters, so I imagine the combat style will be different for each.
What if it's like Marvel Ultimate Alliance and stuff?
No, I don't want to play it.
It's right.
Yeah, I don't know
what that is.
What it should be like. It's like a top-down co-op.
Oh no, it won't be like. It'll be like Arkham because
that's the only top-down game I really like. Is Ultimate Alliance.
Right.
Anyway,
yeah. So looking forward to more like actual screenshots and gameplay footage.
And hopefully by next episode I'll have something to say about Ghost of
did
Tsushima.
you play Alien? What's it called?
Destroy All Humans.
Yeah.
I finished it today.
All right. So
you finished it today? Did you complete it?
Yeah, I've got one achievement left.
I did. It's just like ridiculously easy to complete, isn't it?
Because like I feel like I had a limit on the telekinesis in the original. Because I was just going fucking boom, you're dead, boom.
Were you
dead.
using a mouse and keyboard?
No.
You should. I'll show you a clip later. Use a fucking mouse and keyboard. Like, but I knew it because anyway, sorry.
I probably could. But...
You are right because I streamed and recorded and played Destroy Humans 1 and 2 back to back before the game released. Jeez. And yes, it's very different. The difference is basically that everything compared to the remake is nerfed. So if you're flinging a cow, it doesn't go as far, can't lift them as far. If you want to move around and stuff, it's not as fluent. You're kind of like a tank.
You've definitely got to like increase your telekinesis just to get things thrown fair. But I feel like just with the cow, straight from the beginning, it was just that's not the moon.
What yes. If you use a mouse and keyboard though, it's fucking insane. Like
What's the difference?
Well, the main difference is maybe I can send you a clip later so that you can use it.
Because you keep saying it's insane, but you're not saying why.
Yeah. I'll send you a clip later.
Yeah, but like,
basically, in the normal game with a controller especially, you try to like lift. I'd always try to lift them up. You lift them up with the analog. They'll go up a little bit and then they'll shoot forward. In the first game, not that far. Yeah. In the remake, they go really far. That you can hardly even see them.
Like
sometimes.
you can one hit kill them every time. You couldn't do that in the original game.
With a mouse, obviously you can move a lot quicker, and you can move a bit more dimensionally, and you've got more actions, which is amazing with the dash as well. So you can now fight and dash and shoot all at the same time and use telekinesis. Now, if I very subtly in the clip was just like, oh yeah, I remember this, the telekinesis. I wonder what happens if I do this. Very gently take the mouse, go up like this. Yeet!
Responsible parent. Whee! Hey, you guys want to go out for lunch or something? Oh, sorry, Billy. Or you could do the classic catapult. Yay! So look.
Nobody tosses a cop.
One of the other things I love doing. See if I can do that. Whee! Oh shit!
Off to space. He doesn't come back down for about 5 seconds. And it's just 1, 2, 3.
Well, it sounds fun to me.
And you could just keep doing it. Yoink, 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 yoink.
I finished
You're
amazing.
You're basically one alien against the whole world.
Yeah, the final boss fight, not easy.
Yes. I didn't really mind it, but there was a huge fucking spike in difficulty then. I didn't have my shit fully upgraded, but I was pretty close.
Yeah, I didn't have my saucer upgraded at all, so I literally went back. I did I did a bunch of fucking challenges to get fucking upgrade points. Upgraded my saucer, just ended his existence. And I'm like, cool. Crypto was decently upgraded, but she still killed me like once.
That fucking
it takes a while. It's like a 20-minute fight.
One of the secrets I found out is the probe, the anal probe. Yep. It actually works really well
that
on
wasn't banned in
practically
Australia?
everything.
Yeah,
like her does a lot of damage.
Yeah,
anal probe and the Zapomedic.
I'm surprised they didn't ban that here.
Yeah.
Oh, they made it really. My one gripe with it, which you'll probably disagree with me, is I love it. It's, as far as I can tell, better than the original, even though I would still say the original's good. But if you just wanted to dip your toe in the series, if a newbie was like, I want to play it, but I don't have a PS2, I'd still say it's good. But the two things I mainly didn't like was the character designs and
which I did do.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Do you agree with me? Or like,
because it seemed like they did the humors a lot more seriously in the original.
Because my argument in my video was, back in the day with the PS2 and stuff and Destroy All Humans, they looked very like GTA-esque.
Yeah,
and they felt realistic for the time. So
the best
when
that they could do with that tech.
Yeah, so when this new one was coming out, I was expecting something like GTA 5, The Last of Us, something like that. It doesn't have to be fucking groundbreaking, but just something that looks a bit more realistic. With this,
they took it very cartoony. They went boom to the moon with it.
Looks great on the aliens.
Yeah,
but just not with people. And because I'm nitpicking now. The fucking sound effects sometimes were god awful. Do you remember
Well, keep in mind, all the sound
Were recycled from
the original.
They changed some. They lied.
Ah.
They did change some, but they did change some.
Lied.
Lies. Well, it's not necessarily
Injustice.
lying, but they added some extra voice acting in. You know, not the final boss, the second final boss in the big mech.
President Robo.
Did you notice when they fight you, they say voice lines? Need support, back up.
No,
that's
I
not
was-
in the original. Well, that's not in the original. Different voice actor.
Ah.
But the fucking antennas, you know, you bend the antennas and the heads explode. Not the same sound effect. That's a fucking stock sound effect you see in all low budget movies. That sort of shit.
Only you would notice.
Yes.
I know, because
So-
it's dog shit. Don't know, like, you know, like the Wilhelm scream and all
Yeah.
that. Like, it's just low budget stock. I mean, the Wilhelm scream, that's kind
it's
of
a
fun for
homage.
nerd.
Yeah.
No, that's kind of different. But, like, just low budget sounding crap. No, just get that out of there. No. Have
Got
a
it.
budget. Have a budget.
All right.
So to wrap things up,
Yeah.
I'm not. There was a bonus mission in Area 42 that
that
I'm
was good.
personally. I couldn't tell which one it is. I think it's the bomb one, maybe.
It's the saucer. You jury rig the saucer to fuck up.
Oh, okay. Yep. Okay. So, yep. All right. Now, he and I could probably talk about this for another 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, we're
We're going to end it here.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. This episode has been sponsored by Audible.com.
Fuck Blizzard.
If you want to hear more about Destroy All Humans, look at my review.
And to enter in your checkout code, wait a minute, we're not sponsored. One day, I'll try. Insert Raid Shadow Legends here.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Enjoy your dessert and get the fuck out.
out.